Right. I thought I'd come outside and have a little rant. As hope that swinging there doesn't make you dizzy. It it's necessary this time of the day. Now, I was going to make this video about a fortnight ago, and then I thought I'd hang about and wait to see what's going on. Lots of other people making videos about popes. Popes, the Pope of Rome, the popes of Rome. I mean, I could sing a song, ding dong, the witch is dead, the wicked witch is dead. Last time I heard that was when Thatcher was dragged off the earth. Everybody up in the north of England were celebrating out in the streets and singing. But anyway, I was going to make this video the day after the news was announced that Pope Frankie had kicked the bucket. Now, we've all seen, anyone who's interested in the subject has seen the videos of him, his hologram disappearing from the window. And that was live on a mainstream US news channel that was happening. So the guy could have been dead for 4 or 5 years for all we know. Just like fucking Biden and loads of others. But yet, they announced it a fortnight ago. The guy's dead. The guy's name was Jorge Maria Bergoglio. Jorge, that's George. George Mary. Bergoglio means buggeryall. If you want to translate his name into English, George Mary Buggeryall. That's who he was. So now you got a new pope, a Yank. They say, oh, the last one was the last one. The one before that was the last one. Oh, this one's going to be the last one. As long as they are running the world, they'll keep pumping them out. They've got plenty of these lunatics dressed like peacocks to replace the previous one. Now, this guy was no saint. None of them have ever been anything. There ain't no saints. Rome was spawned by wolves. Romulus and Remus, they were, according to the text, according to the narrative, were fed by a wolf and brought up by wolves. And there ain't no saints in the land of beasts. Only breakfast and dinner. That's all there is there. The guy was an arch criminal. He was a war criminal. He was a Jesuit. There actually is an arrest warrant. There was an arrest warrant issued for him by the International Common Law Court of Justice in Brussels for war crimes and for his involvement in the dirty war in Argentina back in the 70s, where he was wanted for the murders of 3,000 people and the trafficking of maybe up to 30,000 children. I made a video a few years back. If you want, you can go back and look it up. It's called Know Your Bible, Know It. That's the name of the video. And I brought out literature. In fact, I quoted directly from the Bible. And it goes against everything that these people are standing for right now. They're not a religious order. Not part of any religion that you or I would recognize. That's for sure. And this so-called Society of Jesus, the Jesuit order, oh, they're such nice people. They're such great missionaries. They go and they help people in poor countries. Do they fuck? The Jesuits, they own the CIA. The CIA doesn't mean Central Intelligence Agency. It means Catholic Intelligence Agency. You cannot get into the CIA unless you are a Catholic. How I found that out was because there was a guy caught. He was an ex-CIA man, and he got caught. He was a serial killer of some sort, and he had changed his name, I think, to O'Reilly or something, and changed his religion. And then it came out that you have to, if you're not a Catholic, you have to convert. And they are not an American organization. It's illegal for the CIA to operate inside the United States. They are a Vatican militia, and they are necessary for the Vatican, because if they get a hint of a war anywhere in the world, they immediately send in the CIA so that they can arm both sides and get the conflict going. Now, Vatican Jesuit Rome is into only war, banking, land ownership, and with all the land they own in Canada, America, and South America, they can print the dollar. They print it. And they're the ones that hand out war chests to anybody. You can't go to war without a war chest. And they have unlimited supply of war chests, money. They can just push a button and print the money needed to start a war. A lot of people are going to disagree with this here. Oh, no, no, they're very holy men. No, they're a religion. They're hiding behind a fake religion to control the world. They are responsible for the deaths of billions of people across this world, and they will kill everybody in the world when they start to lose control and people wake up. Then they will replace the populations. Easy for them to do. Wars mean nothing to them. To them, they're just human sacrifices to their pagan gods. And they're behind all wars. And a war, which was a world war, where weapons of mass destruction were used, which is the War of 1812, so-called, at the same time, Napoleonic Wars. I doubt whether Napoleon the man ever existed, but Napoleonic times existed, and they were when the world was destroyed. The floods took place. The biblical flood that they told you was 5,000 or 9,000 years ago was no more than 250 years ago. The evidence is in every town and city in this world. They are masters of the technology of water. I have another video in mind how frequencies can expand the volume of water. But I'll wait. I'm not going to get into that right now. And they have their Holy Roman Empire figureheads, which do their dirty work for them, the likes of Fauci, the likes of Castro. Now, all these different groups that went to war with each other, all financed by the same Vatican Bank and its war chest. The communists were orchestrated by the Vatican. The nasties, the short-ass mustachioed bastard from Austria that took over Germany, the fascists, the Zionists from all different religions, all the royal families in the world, they're all formed and run by the Jesuit order. And they're all Khazars, all of them. Now, I reckon the Khazars betrayed this world and did a deal with the Phoenicians, who are the sea people. And I mean sea people from out in the ocean beyond the limits of this earth, that came in and had an ally in the Khazars. The Khazars were handed weapons of mass destruction from off-world, and they were able to take over the whole world. And this Khazarian mafia runs this world, and they are They call themselves, even though this is all fake, they call themselves Christians, they call themselves Muslims, they call themselves Jews, they call themselves even Buddhists. Buddha came to this earth not to start a religion. Dalai Lama is another one of them. Even the Hindu Indian government are also Khazars. Every government in the world basically has been taken over by these people. And the SESCQEV Act of 1666 and the introduction of birth certificates, where they've got you down as a name and a number, and as soon as you have one of these things, in their opinion, they own you. And if you vote for them and you pay your taxes, that means you consent to them spending that money. All taxes go to Rome, by the way. All taxes, all court fines, they own the judiciary all over the world. They take all court fines and all taxes. They all go to Rome. And when they go to war, they're doing it with your consent because you've paid them to go to war. They don't tell us this. These are the biggest liars and deceivers the earth has ever seen. They only came in at the beginning of the Kali Yuga. Maybe they infiltrated in small groups before then, in the previous ages, but the onslaught took place when the Kali Yuga began, and they are here now. They have a free run. Let me tell you something about God, our Creator. He doesn't interfere in this world. The collective karma of the people of the world, He allows them to receive it, does not stick His nose in at all. But everyone has to mind their step, because what goes around comes around. The biggest lies they ever tell, all they do is lie. The first lie is the globe lie, the lie that you are living on a spinning ball covered in curved water, flying through a scientifically impossible space vacuum at millions of miles per hour in 13 different directions. When you believe that, then you believe that you are they want you to feel that you are an insignificant speck in a vast universe. So how do you get rid of God? You dilute Him, like pouring a glass of water into an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Where is it? It's gone. A glass of milk. You pour a glass of milk into an Olympic-sized swimming pool. You can't see it anymore. It's gone. It's diluted. So they've diluted God by giving you this vast, empty space with billions and trillions of stars and planets, and you are tiny and nothing, and you have no meaning. This is their lie, to dumb you down, to keep you obeying or out of fear. And the opposite is true. Man or woman is the most powerful being on this stationary, solid, created, non-rotating earth. So that's their first lie, that you're living on a spinning ball. Now, this Vatican has been behind every Holocaust, and there were plenty of them, and every plague, even the most recent one we just had there in the last 4 or 5 years. They own the pharmaceutical industry. They own the banking industry. They own the petrochemical industry. They own all the land. Nobody is allowed to have a blade of grass of their own. You have to beg them for food and water. And they can easily cut it off. And they're slowly, right now, bit by bit, closing down farms, getting farmers to kill their animals, telling farmers not to water their crops. One morning you wake up and there will be nothing left for you to eat. This is how they do it. They torture you slowly. Now, this Vatican are not a religion, and I'm not trying to be offensive to Catholics, but anyone who's new here, who hasn't heard me before, who hasn't heard me speak before, all these religions that I mentioned, every single one of them, follow a religion called Sabbatean Frankism. And you have to look up Sabbatia Sebi and Jacob Frank. And this religion was formed hundreds of years ago. But yet, they tell you about 2,000 years of Roman church existence. That's all fake. They all, this is why I doubt whether all the popes that they've told us about that existed, I doubt that they existed. In Ireland, all the time, you start bringing up subjects of Christianity and Catholicism. It's, oh, well, St. Patrick came here 1,500 years ago. St. Patrick never existed. He's fake. It's a construct to make you believe that they've been there for 1,500 years, when in fact, probably they have been there much more than 200 years. And they brought in a crucifix into the country with a guy nailed to it and blood pissing out of him. And they hold that up in front of you for your guilt. He died for our sins. You're guilty. You're the sinner. Go around Ireland and look at all the high crosses and the Celtic crosses. There isn't one with a guy nailed to it. I told you that before. Every army that this world has ever seen that went off slaughtering, all wars are against civilian people. Every army in the world exists only to control its own people. Now, they'll send them off to other countries to fight against each other and die, because to them that's another human sacrifice to their pagan gods, and also to reduce the population, to kill off all the men of fighting age, the young men of fighting age, or to kill the fight in them, so that when they come back from this war, they've had enough and they will not rebel, they will not fight. They throw them onto the street then. The amount of American veterans that have nowhere to go after World War I, the streets were full of soldiers that came back sleeping under friggin' staircases and tents here and everywhere. Don't care. They don't care. They hate us. They hate us. And every army that has ever existed in this world that has gone out to fight, all of them were the Roman army. Every one of them was Rome's army. The nasties were Rome's army. Stalin, what was his real name? Djokovic, and his communist army were Rome's army, paid for by the priest bankers with their war chests. The fascists were Rome's army. The current Zionists, Rome's army. Read the Jesuit oath. Then you'll understand why these armies today are killing children. It's in their oath. In their oath that they do this. They've got the royals. All these people, like I said, they're all Khazars. The Japanese. Oh, the Japanese, they started the war. They attacked Pearl Harbor. The Japanese were out in their fields trying to grow enough beans to survive, while the Mitsubishi Bank and the Mitsubishi Motor Company, with their war chest, attacked Pearl Harbor. The same Jesuits owned the Mitsubishi Bank, and the same Jesuits gave Roosevelt his war chest to fight the Japanese. So they're the puppet master. They finance both sides. Do they give a fuck who wins? Not really. Because they'll still be in charge afterwards. They'll still own the banks. They'll still own all the land. But they kill off all the young men in Japan of fighting age, or kill the fight within them, so that when the shit hits the fan, and they turn off the money supply and they turn off the food supply, people are too weak to fight back. So this is a message to all the catholics out there in the world. They tried to make me one when I was a kid. I hated them from the age of fucking 2. I hated them. But they tried to make me one. They've succeeded in making many people into one. And you can pray for your Pope and worship your Pope, but he's nothing but a war criminal. All of them have been war criminals. And they're called the Society of Jesus, and they say that they're going to take all the property and all the wealth in the world and hold on to it until Jesus comes back. This is what they say. So, if I showed up in Rome tonight and said, I'm Jesus. First of all, they say, well, you show us some miracles. You have to show us miracles to prove to us that you're Jesus. Whether I was Jesus or whether I wasn't, whether I could show them miracles or whether I couldn't, I would end up being fucking crucified by tonight. The character Jesus and the crucifixion of Jesus is a symbol of the death of theism and their control of atheism. The bells don't lie. That's what it was about. And if there was such a Jesus, and he did show up in Rome tonight and says, right, I want all my property, I'm Jesus, you'd heel and hide you to a barn door. Yeah. I'm hungry. I gotta go and have dinner. So, the bells have told. This is what I'm telling you. I haven't lied to you. I'm telling you. Everything I've just said to you is true. The bells verify it. You can go and look this stuff up yourself. Don't believe anything I tell you. All religions are fake. Yet, I am not an atheist. And like I said, the Creator does not involve himself in the goings-on of this world. You're on your own. So, but if you do make the right choice, sincere choice within yourself, that you want to find out how to liberate yourself, then one tiny step towards our Creator, and then one giant leap he will make back towards you. Gotta go. Love you all.